Shalom, la b'chayim, shal yasha'ala, peace be to the election of the nation of Israel, consisting of Nabiyayim, the prophets of the 144,000, which are all men, coming out of the 12 tribes of Israel, 12,000 from each tribe, which are the Ra'ashim, the heads of the nation, which of the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and the Americans are the Lord's chosen people. Of course, the only believers of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, and of course those who will be leading this government body of the new kingdom under, of course, Yahushai, which is our Lord and Savior, who the world even calls Jesus Christ. Of course, shalom to the rest of the innumerable multitude behind the 144,000, which are the 1/3 being men, women, and children, which will believe in the words of the prophets, and collectively the 1/3, with the, of course, the 144,000 actually is a part of, but they of course are the prophets. Collectively will receive the Tawah, which is a mark of exemption, thus being redeemed, bought back onto the Most High Yahweh through the blood of Yahushai, and being exempt from this coming judgment, in which is imminent. And of course, want to give double honors to the elders and apostles at GREATMILLSTONE, who well Shenya Kabbalah Shalayach Yim Noah was a Konim Noah Shalayasha Allah Godwala Rakab Ba'aith. Of course, giving double honors to the elders and apostles, our elders and our apostles, or our apostles and our elders, and of Israel, which are in these times at GREATMILLSTONE. And of course, Shalom wa Chesed wa Barakim, and peace and mercy and blessings, La B'chayarim Shal Yashal, the election of the nation of Israel. Okay, of course, want to get into this wee lesson. I'm the brother Mafpa, Shemya Mafpa. My name is Mafpa. Mayan, Godwala Rakab Machana, the GREATMILLSTONE camp, playing tables by Ayar in the city of Philadelphia. But I come, and I'm with my Lamadium, a little lesson, my mouth of truth, and we have it off of Rethinking the Dollar. And he goes into starve the people and then give them a chip, the RD, or the Rethinking the Dollar quick take. So we're going to check this out and then bring it some edification, because we know that the prophecy of the Rfid microchip being made mandatory to the people is imminent. The Rfid microchip is the mark of the beast, also known as the NFC chip, or near field communication, in which you see many of these different biohackers and sweeten, and it's spreading throughout the world, through to Scotland and also Dubai and all over the world. You have this push for cashless payments, and also for it to be convenient onto man, onto whomever wants to be within this future. Okay, which that entails biometrics being of course being what to authenticate you, which I mean by body measure, which the chip, the RFID microchip, they want to insert into your body, and thus authenticating your identity and tracking your whereabouts. And of course, it will hold all of your financial records. It will be the answer, which the Edomites, the wicked, which are the elite of them, they have this newer order which they are quickly going to set up. They want all inhabitants to have a RFID microchip, which fulfills the book of Revelation, the 13th chapter, and starting at the 15th verse going on to the 18th verse, which we shall read. And that's the end game, which was coming upon us quickly. So let's just go into this video and then go from there.
So here's something that was just brought to my attention. I appreciate the community member that shared it with me. So,
Of course, excuse the the actual lag on the video. And let me see if I can possibly make it a bit less laggy. If not, you get the picture.
so over the last couple of weeks or so, I believe I've been talking more about the problems with homelessness, and I think even somebody commented one time in the comment section beneath one of the videos for the live streams, and they talked about the fact that homelessness was an intentional act. And so, how do you get to the foundation of our country other than starving people by shortening the food supply or causing disruptions in the food supply? And so you guys remember, I think it was last year especially, there was that unbelievable weather situation we had in the Midwest where flooding and all types of unusual weather conditions happened within our last year time frame, which caused, of course, a lot of problems with food. And so I remember several people calling in during the live streams talking about how we need to pay attention to the food supply. We need to start talking about food more. And so it's one of the things where I'm like, man, like just putting all that together. And of course, I can't put it all together at one time. That's why it helps to have several people out there always keeping us all informed so we can formulate ideas, put things together, and strategize exactly on what's going on out here and basically put this big puzzle together to help other people understand what's going on. And so when it came to food, I'm thinking like, man, there's a lot of people on the streets now. And so California is I'm hearing more and more bad stories about how California is just loaded with just unimaginable scenery on the streets.
150 people.
Yeah, with you have this right here. I'm gonna just bring this out. I haven't did a video on this, but it goes into nearly half of American homeless people live in California. It says not only do nearly half of America's homeless people live in California, but 4 of 5 American cities with the greatest incidence of unsheltered homelessness are in the Golden State. Okay. As California becomes the mecca for socialism, you have, of course, a mecca, which let me see. Actually, this doesn't even go into it that much. I want to get a better mecca, a better definition of mecca. Slakia. Basically, a place that attracts people to it. It says a huge outlet mall near your hometown is a mecca for shoppers and bargain hunters. So you have certain places which are set to attract people. Okay, it's a huge outlet in which you had it where California, in Babylon, Ayar city here, it's a mecca for socialism, which you have all the different programs which you go into socialism, political and economic theory of social organization that advocates the means of production, distribution, and exchange should be owned and regulated by the community as a whole. All right, which you pretty much have it that a lot, of course, the government, they of course distribute out, and like you got a lot of Rfid, different programs free, just to benefit the people and such. But that's all pretty much, like you have it free education. You'll have the Rfid, given out to you, for the most part. the socialism, all right. Now just look at like Venezuela, certain places like that. But anyway, it says their quality of life diminishes along with in it characteristic dystopian decline, right? Which we know that this dystopian is imagined place or state which everything is unpleasant and bad, totalitarian or environmentally a degraded one, right? Which, you know, you could go into totalitarian and such. Let me see, I just want to go into some of the different terms. Totalitarian, okay, which is a relating a system where the government that is centralized is and dictatorial. It requires complete subservience to the state. Okay, basically, it's an absolutionist. All right, you have it where it says the society is usually ruled by a dictator, and there's little to no freedom. Okay, and the scriptures talk about, you know, they things and such. All right, this is in prophecy, and of course, really, when you go into it, you really don't have many freedoms, and the freedoms that you think you have right now, they're going to be taken from you. This is the book of Revelation, chapter 13. And 11, it says here, and I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had two horns like a lamb, which this represents your Democrats or your Republicans or plebeians and patricians. Okay, because this is, you going into the fourth beast and such. Okay, which is the Roman Empire. No, it's just the last leg is reincarnated. That it was wounded to death. What is it? You see, as it tells you in, I think it might be. Let me see, Saki, Revelation. It might be in the same chapter. Yeah, it's Revelation chapter 13 and 3. It says, and I saw one of the heads as if it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast. Okay, and you had it where this place being a regeneration, all right, regeneration of the Roman Empire coming back through what? NATO, the EU, America. This place is ruled, all right, by a rule which previous kingdoms didn't have. Okay, where you had kingship and such, all right, monarchy. This now you have senates and such. You have votes and such, but behind it is deception. Okay, and we're just gonna keep reading. I don't want to make it too long of a video. It says in two horns like a lamb, right? A lamb is what? A lamb is very innocent and humble and such. All right, in which the different politicians, they appear to be lowly and try to tell you sweet things, but really they imagine how to throw thee into a pit. And the scriptures literally say, you know, what I pretty much had roughly paraphrased. It says, and he spake as a dragon, which you of course go into that word there being Draco, basically Draco. What's that? Dracon. All right, you go back to, I believe, the Athenian, I believe it's a Athenian lawgiver, Draco. You know, I can go see if I can go into it a wee bit. So you have it, and got that word for dragon, which is Dracon.
Strong's G 1404. Drakon.
Right?
Drakon.
And you go into basically into that term, which is very severe. Okay, let me see. I'm gonna just go into it real quick. Harsh, cruel. Okay. Draconian, the definition. Laws of their application excessively harsh and severe. Okay. You go into Draco, which is a legislator, right? Which you have it with the two houses and such, and the House of Representative and the House of Senate. All right, which make up but that body, the legislative body, which is the of Congress. They go about to pass laws for the people and such. Okay, so you have Draco, also known as Draco or Dracon, was the first recorded legislator of Athenians in ancient Greece. And we know that, pursuant to history, you had Edomites come into power. All right, where you go into Alexander the Great. You go into later. You have, of course, the Greco-Roman system. All right, the Romans, they're Edomites and such. All right. So it says here, he replaced the prevailing system of law and blood feud by written code to be enforced only by the court of law. So you had severe laws which are given out. Okay. And let me see. Let me just get a preset real quick. Slack it. Shoot, man. Let me see. I'm gonna just get. Let me see something. Yeah, this is Isaiah chapter 10 and in 1 it says, woe, meaning destruction, Hoya or Hoya, unto them that decree, right? We put up in different orders, unrighteous decrees, and that right grievousness which they have prescribed, they've written into law and such. Okay. And when you go into the different laws, they have it where this chip is going to be given by force to the entire Oikomeni, and all inhabitants of the earth. Okay. Let's see if I can find out the scripture I was looking for. Yeah, I'm not sure. Is a scripture? Let me see. We're gonna go to the Google. Frame, miss. All right, that's it. The audio, that's Psalms chapter 94 and 20. We'll get it in the blue letter. The Holium Hasapar, the book of Psalms. chapter 94 and 20, it says, shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by law? They, right, which they frameth. Okay, let's go into that word for frameth. It says here for frameth, you got Yatazar, okay, or Yatazar, which is the form or fashion. It got of human activity, okay, right, which pretty much they want you to walk in the image of the beast, okay, and if you are for it, you know, you will be what? You will be killed for not worshiping and reverencing the way of life in which they set for you to live by, all right, which they, of course, as you go into it, they call evil or good evil, and can call evil good, all right, which is a complete deception. And that's what Esau Edom, the wicked day, that's what they do. It says they gather themselves together against the soul of the righteous, the upright, that's the Israelites. It says, starting with the elect, it says, and condemn the innocent blood, all right, with damnation, all right, of innocent blood, right? All right, so, and we're gonna go now. I got that Revelation too. Revelation 13. Book of Revelation, chapter 13. And 13, and going back to the verse, this is going to be verse 4 now. I'm going to start back at verse 3 just to go. It says, and I saw one of the heats as it were wounded to death, and his deadly wound was healed, and all the world wondered after the beast, and they worshiped the dragon. All right. You have, of course, dragon, which is what the Roman Empire and such. All right, which gave power unto the beast. All right, which you of course have the beast being what? The beast is NATO. All right, the EU. Okay, they are the beast. Okay, and they came back into power. All right, through, of course, you had the Treaty of Rome. Okay, which you go into the 10 common markets. All right, you go into the as you go into it, the economic European Economic Community, which is later turned to the EU. All right, which they originally came out of 10, and now it's I believe it's like 28 member states at the time, which you have it currently a Brexit, which is is inevitable, which is the British being one of those of that 10. Okay, they would they want to exit out of that whole collective, which is the EU, European Union, which you read that in Daniel, the 2nd chapter. All right, prophecy there. But going on, it says here, and they worship the beast, saying, who is like unto the beast, and who is able to make war with him? And there was given unto him a mouth speaking great things and blasphemies, and power was given unto him to continue 42 months. Okay, and so you have it where the different things which they of course speak, as just to give you some of the example. Verse 6, it says, and open the mouth of blasphemy against the power, to blaspheme his name, his tabernacle, and them that dwell in heaven. Okay, they of course gave him they cast down the name of the Lord. They cast down, of course, the image of the Lord. That actually is a so-called black man. The son is a so-called black man. All right, men of color, the Israelites, who they actually are, their heritage. They actually take our heritage and give it to themselves, being the Amalekites. Okay, and ultimately they want us to break the law, statutes, and commandments by, of course, accepting this chip. Right, which we gonna get that to tell you that we are supposed to. So I'm bouncing it around a bit, just going to the spirit, but this is all needed to be told to, our people so they can have understanding. So let's just go and read or play the video.
People become homeless every day in Los Angeles County.
They consider us criminals. That's the way it is.
We do need help. We need a lot of help out here. They don't want us to be seen. We are people too.
Despite record spending statewide to address the crisis, it's only getting worse, and people are frustrated.
And then you got situations in other states. So here in Detroit, there's a homelessness community type of thing. And so I'm definitely going to start talking more about that because that's something I think we should shine light on. But yeah, the homelessness is something that our own politicians don't talk about. And I think it's part of their act to keep it hush, but it's more so a part of an experiment, a greater experiment that we're going to find out exactly what that is. So once again, this video is inspired by one of the community members sending me some information of this video right here.
Back in there like, we'll give further explanation like when you get to the warehouse. Yeah, it's some kind of chip, I guess.
Well, explain more when you guys are already in here.
Some kind of like device you put on your body.
Yeah.
And then all you do is scan it, and then you don't have to like pay for anything anymore. Just scan it.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's like that too. Yeah. Never heard of that.
But see?
So he just explained about being taken to a warehouse or something. If you can hear, the audio is a bit digitalized and such. But this homeless man was talking about who it was went to an actual warehouse or something. He got a chip, okay, where he could just scan things and not pay for things or something like that. Or he was trying to explain it. So, but basically he was given a chip, okay, and that is one of the actual things which is fulfilling the biblical prophecies. All right, being that Revelation, the 13th chapter, starting at 15 to 16, or going down to 18, it tells us about how he shall cause both small and great, rich and poor. All right, that's the poor right there, end of it, to take a mark in his right hand or in his forehead. All right, which you have the microchip, the Rfid microchip, also known as the NFC chip. And they of course put it in him. You have brain chips. They getting ready. They already have them, but they got brain chips too. With the neural lace. Okay, being Elon Musk saying be ready, I believe sometime in 2020. You can go into that. Let's continue on.
How we break that over a month ago and have videos about it and articles about it and show the documents and no one cares. It's like, that's just Joe's big deal, Implant the homeless. But he's just up there nonchalantly talking about it all. About, they're moving us into this warehouse. We're getting microchips, so we're all safe and everything's free and everything's taken care of. And everybody is totally freaked out about this.
And so basically it's a gentleman getting a haircut, it looks like in Texas, and he's talking about, I guess, a program or whatnot that's been introduced to him where he's actually smiling and making it seem like it's a good thing. And it has to do with the fact that if you have nothing, if you have no access to food, shelter, whatnot, then you'll be open to whatever comes your way, even if it's positioned as a humanitarian aid or if it's conditioned as some type of way of saving you from your own problems, you'll be more receptive to it. And so it looks like...
Right, because you're vulnerable, okay, in which you, of course, have that experiment being conducted with the different homeless, okay, which are in poverty. And, of course, as the scriptures tell you, you bring out, let me see, I'll bring out some of the different scriptures. It's in the 11th chapter of Sirach. Skip. Yeah, it says it says here, the affliction of an error maketh a man forget pleasure, and his end, his deeds shall be discovered. Actually, right here, this is verse 25. Actually, I want Sirach chapter 11 and 25, part original King James Bible, 1611. It says, in the day of prosperity there is a forgetfulness of affliction, and in the day of affliction there is no more remembrance of prosperity. So the first part of this, it tells you that in the day of prosperity there is forgetfulness of affliction. So of course he see that they present him something being an answer to his problem. Of course, a lot of people in California, they were regular people. Okay, they have, and some of them actually, a lot of them actually work jobs and such, and they just, of course, due to the fall of the ball, okay, economically, okay, you see many of these store closings and different factories and warehouses have moved abroad to, of course, capitalize on profit by low labor overseas. And you have the people that they are still here. Okay, when the jobs left, they were still left without an answer. So of course they try to do their best, which pretty much they live off the street. Okay, they get tents and they go to wee jobs. Some of them don't work, and then also you have the different social programs which Esau Edom has brought, which try to help them living in different, in California specifically. They got different parking lots in which they can, if they have a car, they can stay in and such, and do that. Of course, they try to help each other out in different donation and charitable donations and such, alms. But the people are still in a low state. Okay, and I'm gonna go down to this. This is book of Sirach chapter 13, and actually, let's see if I get the scripture. It might be 12 actually. Give me a wee moment. This is again, I'm gonna just bring this out. This is Sirach chapter 12 and 16. It says, an enemy speaketh sweetly with his lips, but in his heart and his mind he imagined, right, which he thinks chashab, how to throw thee into a pit, right, into a system, which is just a pit, right. It says he will weep with his eyes, but if he find opportunity, he will not be satisfied with blood. So of course he's being crafty. It says, if adversity come upon thee, bad times, tazarah, okay, distress, thou shalt find him there first, the enemy. All right, we know who the enemy Shaitan is. The physical counterpart for Shaitan is Esau Edom. Okay, it says, and thou shalt find him there first, and he will pretend to help thee, yet he shall undermine thee. Okay, so we obviously, he's plotting about Anya and such. Okay, which ultimately this is part of the experiment for their new world order before they roll it out to the population of the whole world. Okay, and that's pretty much it with this video. I can see if there's any more, but the point has been hit with what I wanted to bring out. Okay, you ain't supposed to trust thine enemy, and you as you see, he just imagined how to throw thee into a pit. Now, a lot of they different things were actually put on. These are old things which have been written about. Okay, this is back in, this is Wednesday, April 7th, and I believe when I had looked it up, it was in the earlier parts of the 2000s. Now it says here, HHS announced program to implant home RFID, or radio frequency identification device, which is a chip tags in homeless. And it reads here, Washington, the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services said on Thursday that it was about to begin testing a new technology designed to help more closely monitor and assist the nation's homeless population under the pilot program. So, if you know anything about a pilot program, right, which I'll just pull out the definition, just to bring out edification. They usually roll that out as an experiment, okay, before they actually bring forth the actual full program, okay, they implement it. So, pilot is a test or plan a project before introducing it more widely, okay, got it. So this is just nothing but one of Esau Edom's experiment before he introduced it to the masses, okay, because he's already been putting it out in the media through various articles. And would you take a microchip? People may soon have a microchip in their body and such, and even going into showing you, as this is the year 2019, the year Chragma, coined by our apostles and elders, a great millstone, or Apostle Elder Tahar specifically. Year Chragma, which is the Chragma is the chip, the RFID microchip. Okay, so before they want to, of course, bring it to being mandatory, they are going to do these pilot programs just to see who these different trials actually work out the kinks and see how things go, okay? And what better is it to use it with homeless people, whom, as I gave you a bit of the story, most of the different homeless in actual California, they were in actually a good case at a time, okay? They just, due to adversity striking, due to this fall of this this kingdom, they weren't able to bounce back from it. So there were, like I say, obviously it's a lot of things which Esau Edom is going to bring out of order, out of chaos. Okay, he's going to bring a solution to the problem which he's actually going to create. Okay, which they run and have control of everything. All right, the earth is given the hand of the wicked. Okay, so you can test it on the homeless people as I go into it. Most of the different homeless, they weren't just straight up crazy people who had different psychological disorders, or suffer from different behavior or substance abuse. A lot of the different people were just normal people, whom middle class, even upper middle class, some even had 6-figure jobs and such, if you can check out some of the different information and documentaries on it, okay? And they just hit hard times, and they, of course, them being in that lower state, Esau Edom brings forth what? A solution, okay, help, okay? So let's get to it. This is Revelation chapter 15 and 13:15. It says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast. The image of the beast is the Roman system, right? It's democracy, it's murder, it's covetousness, it's idolatry, it's homosexuality, All right, just to name some of the different things. Okay, it says which this system is just modeled after the old the Roman system, which was going back to the ancient you say the pagan Roman Empire, okay, ruled by Edomites. Okay, must I note, it says that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Right? So ultimately, if you're in a for their actual way of life, all right, you don't want to be an actual person that is actually believes and ascribe to what they are assimilating within, what they bring. You're no longer needed, and that's why they have depopulation and different depopulation plots to get rid of those who are for this system, and mainly that's the Hebrew Israelites. Okay, starting with the hopefully elect. Okay, you have of course other truthers out there and such too. You go into that different red, yellow, and blue lists and such. Or red, yellow. What is it? Yeah, I believe you go into blue, red, and yellow. If I'm not mistaken, Slakia, if my memory fails me. But primarily, you have it where they see us as ones who are kind of be changed. Okay, we kind of be re-educated, because we have it where you can't deceive the elect. Okay, which Lord Yahweh I get that scripture too. It says here, verse 16, it says, and he causeth, being Esau Edom, who has control of the world, okay, all, both small and great, rich and poor, right, which they're in a different experiment on the poor, are free and bond to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. Now, going back, let me read this. It says here, a pilot program, okay, which to monitor them, right, which grew out of a series of policy academies held in the last 2 years. Homeless people in participating cities will be implanted with a mandatory, which that's what they want ultimately for the masses of the people. All right, well, everybody, okay, which they view as the people below class. It says radio identification tags, or you have it RFID. It says that social workers and police, or the police, can track their movements, and that's what the different technology allows. In which Esau Edom, he wants to know everything that you're doing. Okay, you have it with this whole artificial intelligence, the whole the whole cyborgs or transhumanism agenda. Okay, futurism. All right, it has here, artificial intelligence is watching our every move and judging us. Technology has advanced to the point where many Americans have artificial intelligence devices in their homes, but what the majority of the sleeping masses, which masses mean people below class, don't realize is that AI is watching and judging us, and that's Esau. He's watching and judging us. Okay. But as it tells you in the scriptures, that us being of the hopefully elect, and you read what's that, Corinthians 2:11. It may be 2 Corinthians. Let's see. It tells you that. Come on, man. This thing is this. I can't even find this. I'll just go manually. Second Corinthians 2:11. It says here, least Shaitan, the enemy or adversary, which we know who that is, Esau Edom, physical counterpart, should get advantage of us, for we are not ignorant. not to know, right, of his devices, right? Devices in the Greek is noma, I believe, right? Noema, right? Which is his different thoughts, right? His wicked, actual evil purpose, all right? His thought, chashab in Hebrew, okay? So we know about it, okay? We're telling you about it. The Lord revealed his secrets unto the servants of prophets, okay? So they want to track your movements, okay? And going back to, obviously, the whole Internet of Things, okay? You have it where they want to integrate all devices into the Internet of Things. So 24-hour surveillance, all right? And of course, you, too, to be a part of the grid, all right? To be you to be known. What you're thinking, what you're eating, what you're doing, all of that is going to be known by the enemy, okay? Esau Edom, all right? Which he's doing it through his different devices, but he wants to actually put a device within you, all right, that kind of be taken out, okay? Which is the Rfid. Well, it can get taken out, but once you take it, you pretty much are going to be you are going to be destroyed. All right, if you take the Rfid microchip, which that's Revelation the 14th chapter. All right, you're supposed to, of course, not take the Rfid microchip, also known as NFC chip. All right. So it says this could concern everyone because it isn't just tyrannies like China. All right, which China is what, like a communist and such. Cruel, oppressive government are real. Okay, which, as you see, through draconian legislation, which they want to implement this chip to all people. You got the ID, 20. What's that? ID 20. Is it ID 2020? You got the real ID. You got the ID. I think is it ID 2020 or something like that. See, some of the different things. Let me see. ID 2020 Alliance. Okay. Is that the of course show you what basically merging the whole digital ID. Identity is vital for political, economic, and social opportunity, but the system of identification are archaic. Okay. That's like damn near what archaic mean, like let me see if I can look up archaic. I want to say ancient, but I want to just make sure I check. Archaic is very old or old-fashioned. Okay, basically analog. Okay, and it says insecure, lack of inadequate privacy protection, and for over 1 billion people inaccessible. Digital identity is being defined new, and we need to get it right. Okay, so they has a actual alliance in setting the course of a digital ID through multi-stakeholder partnership, ensuring digital ID is responsibility implemented and widely accessible. All right, they want to identify this blockchain technology. All right, I'm going to that too. Is outside of individual identity. That is outside of individual control. All right. The government will control everything. Okay, simple as that. All right. That's draconian legislation. So you have to go into the different things. Okay, go into Internet of Things. All right, go into this ID 2020. Go into the real ID, which they want implemented by the different states in the Babylon, America, by October, I believe. That's the different. I believe that's the deadline and such. Okay, so this thing is being moved quickly. Things are being made quickly done. Okay, in this biblical prophecy. So what matter person you be, holy conversation. All right, and godliness. You ought to know, who your enemy is and what he's doing, and what he's going to bring. Okay, and how to arm yourself against him. All right, you have to get this knowledge, understanding, is wisdom. Know not to take the chip. Okay, because he's been doing these different pilot programs and such and experimenting before he rolls it out. Okay, you have a whole, you go into the different gradualism. Definition. All right, you go into actual when they have what is that other term? It's another term it goes by. They have agendas. Okay, this is gradualism, though, a policy of gradual reform, which reform goes into change rather than a sudden change or revolt or revolution. Okay, so they're gonna bring it slowly but surely. Okay, and they of course are going to, of course, before they make it a big sudden change and such, they've been obviously programming the masses into widely accepting it. Okay, changing their mind, using witchcraft and sorcery, and that's what the Chaldeans, these elite, that's what they do. Okay. Man, this is amazing. I gotta be thankful for the truth, Hamath, the truth, and Kaya, Awar, the light, the light that Yahweh Shem Shai gave unto us, to know to reject they things. Okay, and it says here, and he calls it all, both small and great, rich and poor, to receive a mark, which that's the charagma, which is the chip. Rich and poor. All right, let me go into that word for poor. A poor man, reduced to beggarly. Okay, asking for alms, donation, lowly afflicted, and also it says destitute of Christian Hamashiachim, the followers of Hamashiach, which is Yahweh Shai, who is the Son of the Most High. All right, values and eternal riches. So you see that, because one whom are destitute, going into that word for destitute. Okay, let's go into the etymon online for that. It says abandoned or forsaken, which destitute with izab in Hebrew, which that means to be forsaken, abandoned. Okay, from de meaning away, and statuer meaning to put in place. All right, so away from place. All right, to stand. All right, to be made to. It says also forlorn and hopeless. It says to stand. Stay means to be firm. All right, but you have it where they have wavered and gave. They have it where the Lord didn't give faith to the whole world. So people are going to widely accept the chip because they have that lack of the actual morals, the wisdom, knowledge, understanding. Okay, in which this whole world is under gross darkness. All right, the God, this world, has, and it's just Satan. Has this world is in a big snare. Let me see. Let me go back to that. That's Greek word because. Let me see.
Strong's G 4434. Tochas,
which means reduced to beggarly, and people have been placed into that destitute, destitute of wealth, honor, position. So easily they can, being vulnerable, can take the chip. Simple. And they're using the homeless, all right, as a perfect specimen, okay, for their experiment. All right, so it says free and bond to receive a mark, the charagma. We've gone to it so many times, going back to the Greek word Palestine, the root word, which is going into being a trench or a stake. Okay, when you go into it, okay, which you see a actual piece of wood and you put it into the ground, it's sharp. Okay, mark what? Your territory, which Esau Edom is going to mark you as his property. All right. I am continuing forth. It says a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads. All right, and it can go anywhere in your body. All right, just so you know, you still take the chip. Okay, there's different. You go into different precepts that tell you. All right, you know, like people think they just because it's not, they said in right hand or taking my left. They taking in their body over there in the left over there in the east. All right, but when you go and check out different precepts, you know, it'll tell you, like say, like for example, let's see, Revelation. I'm going like Revelation 20. Let me see, Revelation 16, 15. Let's see what's up. Just a quick point. Right, real quick. It says here, and there went, Revelation 16:2, it says, and there went and poured out a vial upon the earth, and there was a norsome and a gruesome sore upon men which had the mark of the beast, and upon them which worship his image. That's one. Let me see. I want to get a different one though. This is specifically with the hand thing. Let me see. Let me see. Slaki, I know this is a long lesson, but you know this the spirit has to come out. All right, it's a major prophecy. Esau is slowing up the computer. Computer isn't it going? Okay. It's not going. Isn't it going to the next thing? So. Yeah, I may have to just go into my physical scriptures. This is Revelation 20:4. Alright, I'm just reading physical scripture. And I saw thrones, and they that sat upon them, and judgment was given unto them. And I saw the souls of them that were beheaded for the witness of Yahushai. That's the Son of the Most High. Only begotten Son of the Most High. It says, and for the word of the power, which had not worshipped the beast in his image, named the EU in his image, the Roman system, neither had received his mark upon their foreheads or in their hands. All right, so you kind of say that, oh, is you know, anything, make an excuse about hands and such. We ain't supposed to take it, period. All right, and you could read, of course, Revelation, the 14th chapter. Okay, all right. And such. All right, those who don't take the chip, okay, those who are elect. Let me see. And those who are elect, they won't be taking the chip, and they will have the victory. This is Revelation 15. Okay. And those who take the chip, they will be destroyed. Simple as that. If you're a heathen, you're going to get destroyed regardless. If you're 2/3, you're going to get destroyed. You don't take the chip and get destroyed. Alright. Revelation 15:2. And it reads, it says, and I saw in Revelation 15:1, I saw another sign in heaven, great and marvelous, 7 angels having the 7 last plagues. For in them is filled up the wrath of the power. And I saw as it were a sea of glass mingled with fire in the firmament, right? And them that had gotten the victory over the beast. Because remember that those who are of the elect will be beamed up via a chariot. As it tells you in the book of Isaiah, what's that, 26 and 20? About coming to like chambers, you know, for a moment, you know, for the end of the nation come to pass, roughly paraphrasing. All right. So the elect will be, of course, looking down on this. Okay. All right. So it says, and them that had gotten the victory over the beast, and over his image, and over his mark. You know the mark is a charagma. And over the number of his name, 666, and stand on the sea of glass, having harps of the power. Alright? It says, and they sing the song of Mashah, and the servant of the power, and the song of the Lamb, saying, great and marvelous are all thy works, the Lord Almighty, the Lord God Almighty, Lord Power Almighty, just and true are thy ways, thou King of saints. And so the saints of the Israelites, alright? Revelation 14, the flip side. Remember, there's a balance between everything. You don't supposed to take the chip, alright? Revelation 14 and 8. It says in there, follow another angel. Babylon is fallen. America is fallen. America is fallen. Alright? And that great city, because she had made all the nations drink of the wine of her wrath of her fornication. All the different philosophy they push out. Alright? Doing having that that hegemony, that predominance, their influence, of course, militarily, economically, etc. But they're going to fall. It says, in the third angel followed them, saying with a low voice, if any man worship the beast in his image, and receive his mark in his forehand or in his hand, okay, in your body, basically, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the power, which is poured out without mixture in the cup of indignation, and he shall be tormented with the fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels, in the presence of the Lamb. Alright? Yahweh Shai gonna be here with the rest of the innumerable multitude on deliver his elect, and also bring destruction and beat people to powder who obviously are not exempt of the judgment Mashapat. Alright, so that's pretty much it for the lesson. I pretty much covered a lot of their things. Starve the people and give them a chip, order out a KO, and then doing pilot programs. We are in the times of the end. As we know, pursuing to the book of Revelation 12 and 12, I believe it tells you that. It says, therefore rejoice ye heavens, and ye that dwell in them. That's us. Okay. The kingdom of heaven is in us, man. It says, woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil, we know the devil is Esau, Edom, the wicked, is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have a short time. So he has to, of course, because he knows he has a short time, he has to implement this, his enterprise, his undertaking, which is the New World Order. Okay, but the Lord's gonna obviously upset that when he's eating it. Think his belly is full. The Lord's gonna upset all of that. So that's it. What I got for now. Hopefully you're edified by the lesson. Look, I'll leave links to the different articles and the video which I featured. Of course, I want to give all praise and honor and glory to Yahweh Bashem Yahshai Bashem Kokodash, and double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone. Hope well, peace and salutation to the elect that are scattered abroad, Israelite foreigners. Okay, and scattered throughout the countries, and they look like the other heathen, like unto the speckled bird. Of course, I want to end the video off with a curse. Alright, Yahweh Bahashem Yahshai Bahashem Kokodash Babakasha 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 Shemai Dapalathi Aita. Shalach Rayam wa Nashim wa Abadim wa Haragim wa Mashapatim, all call Adawamium wa Gawayam wa Ayabim Nawa, Babakasha Babakasha Babakasha, Yahweh Bashem Yashai Bashem Hakudash, Shalach Ash La Baba wa Abba Baba Mahar wa Hawashai Nawa Mayan Baba wa Kal Rataza and Khawash, or quickly. Alright, the water Tawab Aman. Alright, which I just Lord send Lord in his name of the Son, the only begotten Son, the Most High in the name of the Son, to send evil and punishments, and of course killings, destruction, judgment to all Edomites, the Gawayim, the nations, alright, and to our enemies. And I of course said to send fire and destroy Babylon, and I pray to the Lord for him to save us from where we've been, wherever we are, from Babylon, and from Of course, all the rocks is out of, or all the earth, because you're scattered abroad. All right, shalom to the elect. Abba Baba.